Temporary housing.
Okay, everyone, please take your seats. We're about to start the morning program. Let me just go through the schedule a little bit. We have a wonderful program. Now we're looking forward to it very much. The Doladi will give all the details. The choir will sing for about a half hour. Then Swami Sarvadevananji, he'll give the first talk this morning. There'll be a short break, 11:15 to 11:30, and then Swami Yogatmanandaji. He'll speak, and then we'll have a panel discussion with the Swamis here, with Sarvadevananji, Yogatmanandaji, Swami Bhaswarananji, and myself. And then after that, we have lunch at around 1:15, and then after that, clean up and wish everybody a good day.
Pranam Maharaj, and welcome everybody. It is our honor and privilege to begin today with the choir program. And our choir members, besides singing and narration, have also drawn and taken pictures, which will be projected on the TV as the program goes on. Please look at them, enjoy them. And some of the pictures might be also posted outside on the bulletin board. So anytime around, you can also enjoy those things. Hope you all enjoy.
Observed on the last day of Pitri Pakho, the preceding fortnight of waning moon. On the morning of this day, Hindus remember the loved ones who have died and pay respect to them, known as Tarpan. Also, according to Hindu mythology, on this day, Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwar created goddess Durga to defeat the demon king Mahishasur. Thus, to her devotees, Mahalaya denotes the day of arrival of goddess Durga with her divine powers and the beginning of Durga Puja celebration, which continues for 10 more days. Typically, on Mahalaya, the eyes of all deities for Durga Puja are painted, bringing them to a lifelike appearance. Today, we will sing and talk about Durga Puja.
তুমি জাগো জাগো দুর্গা জাগো দশ প্রহরণধারিণী অপরাশক্তি বল প্রদায়িনী তুমি জাগো জাগো তুমি জাগো তুমি বরদা অজানা তুলা তুমি বরদা অজানা তুলা বহু বড়ধারিণী ত্রিপুদলধারিণী জাগো মা শরণময়ী চন্ডিকা শঙ্করী জাগো জাগো মা জাগো সুরনাশিনী তুমি জাগো জাগো দুর্গা জাগো দশ প্রহরণধারিণী অপরাশক্তি বল প্রদায়িনী তুমি জাগো
তুমি জাগো।
The Sanskrit word Durga means a fort or a place that is protected and thus difficult to reach. Durga, also called Divine Mother, protects mankind from evil and misery by destroying evil forces such as selfishness, jealousy, prejudice, hatred, anger, and ego. The story of Durga's birth is as follows. Rambha, the king of Asuras, he married a buffalo. They had a son, his name was Mahishasura. Mahish means buffalo. As he grew up, he was very angry and annoyed to see whenever a fight happens between the god and the demons, the god always wins and the demon loses. So, one day, Mahishasura decided to do a tapasya for long years. Seeing that, God was impressed by Mahishasura's dedication. So, Lord Brahma decided to give him a boon. He was so happy to get the opportunity, he asked the Lord Brahma to bless him in such a way that neither man nor a god can kill him. But his death could only happen in the hands of a woman. Mahishasura was so proud of his strength, he thought that would never happen in his mind.
Taking advantage of the boon, Mahishasura, along with his troop of Asuras, demons, invaded the earth. He looted and killed with impunity. Soon, raging with power, he decided to take over heaven, believing he could be the ruler of all the three realms, Swarga, Marto, and Patal.
The battle between the Asuras and the Devas was ferocious. Mahishasura finally defeated the army of Indra, or the Lord of Heaven, in Amravati. Humiliated, the Devas met with the three Devas, Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara, hoping to find a solution.
Frustrated and angry at the defeat of the Devas, the three Devas tried to find a way to stop Mahishasura. Only a woman can kill Mahishasura, said Lord Brahma, thinking about the boon he had given the Asura. But which woman in the three realms was strong enough to take on the battle? So he decided to use their combined powers to create this invincible woman.
The illuminating spiritual energy emanating from all the gods and goddesses combined to create an emblazonning celestial body with divine beauty. The Tejas from Lord Shiva evolved in creating her face. The Tejas from Lord Vishnu gave shape to her arms, and Brahma's Tejas provided the form of her legs. The Tejas from the god of fire, Agni, bestowed her with the three celestial eyes.
The god of the oceans of milk gave her a red sari and various other jewelry such as necklace, earrings, bracelets, rings, and anklets, etc. Once she was beautifully dressed, each of the devas gave their weapons to the Devi to help her destroy Mahishasura. Vishnu gave her a chakra or discus like his own. Shiva gave her a trident. Brahma gave her a garland of Rudraksha and Kamundalu, bought full of holy Ganga water. Varun gave her a gift of ever-blooming lotus flowers, a mighty gong, and a weighted net. Agni presented her with Shodagni, or fire, a weapon that could kill thousands.
Vayu provided her with a bow and quiver, holding an endless supply of arrows. Indra gave her a thunderbolt like his own, and a bell from the neck of his carrier, Bhairava. Vishwakarma armed her with an axe and impenetrable body armor. Yama presented her with the staff of death. Surya presented her with his blinding rays that emanated from every pore of her body and glistened in her sword and her shield. Devasta gave her the Komodoki, the divine mace.
Nagdeva, king of serpent, gave her a snake ornament. Kuber gave her a cup of divine wine. Finally, Himalaya, the god of the mountains, gave her a tiger to ride on, and she was named Mahadevi or Durga.
In this way, adorned with ornaments from all the gods and blessed with their different weapons, Durga mounted the tiger and set out to destroy Mahishasura. As she approached Amravati, the kingdom of Lord Indra, she let out a mighty roar that shook the mountain and created huge waves in the seas.
Mahishasura found it amusing that a woman has come to kill him. Seeing how beautiful she looked, he proposed to marry her instead. But Ma Durga strongly rejected him. Mahishasura was very angry and attacked the goddesses with an army of asuras. Then Devi Durga immediately created a troop of soldiers from her breath to fight back. Mahishasura tried all his tricks he knew. He kept on changing shapes to confuse the goddesses. From a man he became a lion and then to an elephant. But every time Devi Durga wounded him with her weapons. The battle lasted for 9 days. Finally, the goddess killed the Asura, who had taken form of a huge buffalo again. She beheaded him with the chakra which Vishnu had given her. Thus, she freed the world from Mahishasura's tyrant. Thus, she freed the world from Mahishasura's tyranny. Indra and the other gods returned to the heavens again, and all was well. Since then, Durga is worshipped just as Mahishasura Murti, that is, killer of Mahishasura.
দুর্গে দুর্গে দুর্গতি নাশিনী মহিষাসুর মর্দিনী জয় মা দুর্গে 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 দুর্গতি নাশিনী মহিষাসুর মর্দিনী জয় মা দুর্গে দেবী দুর্গে জগত জননী দেবী দুর্গে জগত জননী তুমি মা মঙ্গলকারিণী দুর্গে দুর্গে দুর্গতি নাশিনী মহিষাসুর মর্দিনী জয় মা দুর্গে দশ পূজা দশ শাস্ত্র শালিনী মধু করে তপন সংহারিণী অদ্বিতীয়া তুমি অনন্যা অদ্বিতীয়া তুমি অনন্যা অপারে মাধুকহারিণী দুর্গে দুর্গে দুর্গতি নাশিনী মহিষাসুর মর্দিনী জয় মা দুর্গে শুম্ভনি শুম্ভ দানব দানবী মুক্তি মুক্তিকারিণী যোগপ্রসবিনী মহাযোগিনী যোগপ্রসবিনী মহাযোগিনী চণ্ডিকে ভাসিকারিণী দুর্গে দুর্গে দুর্গতি নাশিনী মহিষাসুর মর্দিনী জয় মা দুর্গে সত্যগুণে মহাসরস্বতী রজগুণে মহালক্ষ্মী রূপিণী তমগুণে মহাদুর্গা তুমি তমগুণে মহাদুর্গা তুমি মনোহরা ঘোষণা তুমি দুর্গে দুর্গে দুর্গতি নাশিনী মহিষাসুর মর্দিনী জয় মা দুর্গে 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 দুর্গতি নাশিনী মহিষাসুর মর্দিনী জয় মা দুর্গে মহিষাসুর মর্দিনী জয় মা দুর্গে
Goddess Durga is considered to be the goddesses of war, responsible for combating evil and demonic forces that threatens the peace, prosperity, and dharma, or power of good over evil. With her 10 weapons, she triumphantly destroyed the evil Mahishasura. However, she is known and worshipped in many other forms too. For example,
in the form of Ma Kali, she turns black as the night and omnipotent, terrible in rage and fury, with just a string of skulls as her garland and her only garb.
In the form of Sati, beloved daughter of King Daksha and Queen Menaka, she gives up a kingdom and earns her father's wrath.
As Parvati, she is serene, the pretty consort of Lord Shiva by his side in the snowy peaks of the Kailash mountains.
She is Bhavani, symbol of life.
She is Basanti, the heralder of springtime.
she is also Amba, Jagathatri, Tara, Ambika, and Annapurna.
For most of India, Durga Puja festival or Navaratri is celebrated for 9 days, which are solely dedicated to Durga and her 9 avatars, the Navadurga, These are as follows. Day 1. Shoiloputri. On Protipad, first day after Mahalaya, she is worshipped as Shoiloputri, daughter of the mountain, an incarnation of Parvati, the wife of Shiva. She is depicted as riding the bull, Nandi, with a trishul in her right hand and lotus in her left.
Day 2, Brahmacharini. On Ditya, or second day, she is worshipped as goddess Brahmacharini, another incarnation of Parvati. In this form, Parvati became Yogini, her unmarried self. Brahmacharini is worshipped for emancipation or moksha, an endowment of peace and prosperity. Depicted as walking bare feet and holding a jopomala or rosary and a kamundulu pot in her hands, she symbolizes bliss and calm.
Day 3. Chandrakanta. Jitya, third day, commemorates the worship of Chandrakanta. The name derived from the fact after marrying Shiva, Parvati adorned her forehead with the Ardha Chandra, or half moon. She is the embodiment of beauty and is also symbolic of bravery.
Day 4, Kushmanda. Goddess Kushmanda is worshipped on Chaturthi, or fourth day. Believed to be the creative power of the universe, Kushmanda is associated with the endowment of vegetation on earth. She is depicted as having 8 arms and sits on a tiger.
Day 5, Skandamata. Skandamata, the goddess worshipped on Panchami, fifth day, is the mother of Skanda or Kartikeya. The white color is symbolic of the transforming strength of a mother when her child is confronted with danger. She is depicted riding a ferocious lion, having 4 arms and holding her baby.
Day 6, Katyayani. She is an incarnation of Durga and is shown to exhibit courage, which is symbolized by the color red. Known as the warrior goddess, she is considered one of the most powerful forms of Devi. In this avatar, Katyayani rides a lion and has 4 hands. She is celebrated on Shashti, or 6th day.
Day 7, Kalarati. Considered the most ferocious form of goddess Durga, Kalarati is revered on Saptami. It is believed that Parvati removed her pale skin to kill the demons of Sumba and Nisumba. The goddess appears in a red-colored attire or tiger skin with a lot of rage in her fiery eyes. Her skin turns dark.
Day 8. Mahagauri. Mahagauri symbolizes intelligence and peace. It is believed when Kalaatri took a bath in the Ganga River, she gained a warmer complexion. She is celebrated on Ashtami, 8th day.
Day 9, Siddhi Datri. On the last day of the festival, also known as Navami or ninth day, people pray to Siddhi Datri. Sitting on a lotus, she is believed to possess and bestows all types of siddhis. Here, she has 4 hands.
Day 10 is celebrated as Doshera, which marks the triumph of Rama over the 10-headed demon Ravana, who had abducted his wife Sita. Thus, Doshera symbolizes the victory of good over evil. It is celebrated with great fervor and festivities.
Anandarupini Ananta Guravati Anantanami Girisema Anandarupini Ananta Guravati Anantanami Girisema Shiva in Mohini
In West Bengal and some other eastern Indian states, the joy and festivities of Durga Puja festival are enhanced by another layer of Durga lore, which is as follows. Satya Uma, the youngest daughter of King Daksha, married Shiva, who lived in the Kailash mountain. Shiva, who was much older than her, was addicted to drugs, frequented cremation grounds, and was a bit of a vagabond. So, this union was not at all approved by the king. At her husband's place in Kailash, Uma couldn't enjoy any of the luxuries or comfort that she was used to as a princess at her parents' place. Back home, her mother Menaka is distressed by the thought of her darling Uma suffering from hardship and not having seen her for years, and treats her husband, Giriraj Daksha, to go and bring Uma home for the days of the puja. He doesn't like Shiva at all and is unwilling to go, but Menaka keeps after him until he agrees. So Uma, Durga, now a mother of four, comes home for a joyous reunion with her mother. With her, she brings her kids, Ganesh, Lakshmi, Saraswati, and Kartikeya. The whole kingdom is immersed in joy and festivities for 4 days to celebrate her homecoming.
In keeping with the story, in Bengal and eastern states, Durga Puja is held from Shoshti or 6th day of Navratri to the 9th day Navami. The deities of Durga and her children are worshipped in temporary stages or pandals, temples, and even in some houses. People get decked in their best clothes. Along with worship of the goddess, good food, songs, and festivities abound, and people forget all their sorrows for a few days.
On the 10th day, known as Vijaya Dashami, they bid farewell to the goddess who returns to Kailash on that day. Deities of Ma Durga are immersed in rivers or ponds. Afterwards, everyone exchanges sweets and good wishes with each other.
Ramakrishna used to say that to look upon God as mother is the purest and highest form of sadhana. He believed that little girls were manifestations of the Divine Mother because at that age they are away from negative influences of the materialistic world.
As a mark of respect to that belief, in 1899, Swami Vivekananda initiated Kumari Pujo at Belur Math. Kumari Pujo is held at the end of Mahashtami Pujo, when an unmarried teenage girl is worshipped symbolically as a goddess. Kumari Pujo is held in all Ramakrishna mission, but at Belur Math, it is a grand and spectacular celebration that is attended by thousands of people from far and wide.
Durga Puja festival symbolizes the victory of good over evil. This occasion is for joy and happiness. May Ma Durga bless us all and keep us happy and healthy. Thank you.
Come this way. Come this way. Yeah. ঠাকুরকে খরচ কাজে হবে আমাকে দিতে হবে দেন প্রণাম করুন ব্যাস তাই নাও চলে যাবে এদিকে
ওকে পাঠিয়ে দাও ওকে পাঠিয়ে দাও এসো আনছি
এই তো
ওকে পাঠাও
বেশি বেশি পেয়েছে
বাচ্চারা কিন্তু আছে এগুলো পায় না।
Congratulations. Wonderful.
দেখি খালি দেখি কেমন আছেন ভালো আছেন গানগুলো ভালো লেগেছে
হ্যাঁ খুব ভালো হচ্ছে হ্যাঁ ভীষণ ভালো
আসলে দোলা খুব
হ্যাঁ খুব কেটেছে হ্যাঁ
আমাদের সবচেয়ে বড় আমি দেখে দেখে আছি
হ্যাঁ খুব ভালো হয়েছে আঁকা এবং তার সঙ্গে সঙ্গে বাচ্চাদের
Everyone, please take your seats and please maintain silence in between the programs. Thank you. Our congratulations to the kids and the parents and everyone who helped arrange the opening program. It was very wonderfully done. And I know it took a lot of hard work on the part of a lot of people. And so very nice way to begin today's program. Now I will welcome Swami Sarvadevanandaji. You all know that the center exists because of Swamiji, and we're all under his guidance. So many centers. He's head of our Southern California center, but throughout the country, even our Washington, D.C. center, and Raleigh and New Jersey, Pittsburgh, I can go on and on and on. So we're very grateful for Swamiji's guidance and his love and his devotion for all of us. And we're anxious to hear Swamiji talk this morning. So I will welcome Swami Sarvadevanandaji.
It's a parking chair. Om Sthapakaya Sudharmasya Sarvadharma Sarupine Avatara Varishthayo Ramakrishnaya Te Namaha Yatagre Daika Shakti Ramakrishna Stita Hija Sarva Vidya Sarupantang Sharadam Pranamamaham Parutatte Sharalino Ramakrishna Shamakaya Yo Dharma Sthapanarato Piresham Tannamamaham Kalinde Kullakamale Madhavera Pirarato Brahmananda Namastubhyam Sadguru Lokumayako Yogananda Premanandascha Anne Vaye Chakarshadaha Ramakrishna Gata Prana Sarvan Stan Pranamamaham Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we are very happy that we are celebrating the 125th year of the founding of this Ramakrishna order. And as a part of that, we are here almost 1 year in this new place, though the center was started long back by Swami Shananda Maharaj. And this Sangha, we are a part of this tradition. As God comes down, we know, for the good of humanity, again and again. And it's a mission. There is a great mission for the advent of the Lord of the universe. We have a beautiful song. We sing, Treta Tari Ram Dapuredi Sham. So Treta Tari, that time in the Treta Yuga, to redeem the sufferings of those time, he has to take a bow and arrow and fight and kill the physical plane. And Dapur also he has to come. He hide his discus and mace and other things, Narayana. But he killed so many demons and all this in the physical plane. Again, that same divine power came down in the form of Ramakrishna, most humble, most simple, but carrying so many weapons, hiding them altogether. The greatest weapon is to remove the ignorance of us, give us the light and illumination inside. This time only he came with the power of renunciation, power of service, power of deep in God intoxication, to teach us how to conquer our lower propensities. And he came as a friend yesterday. We had a beautiful talk. Swami Atmagyanananda talked about the Nara Roop and Nara Shakha. In the Bhagavad it is said, Narayanam Narashakam Sharanam Prapadde. I take refuge in Narayana, who is the Narashakha, the friend of Nara, a Nara Rishi. But we take it as a human personality, our friend. Friend understands the suffering of friend. So Bhagavan came to just so much down to the earth to help the humanity, being a friend of the lowly, friend of the unfortunate. And that's why you find in this incarnation, he is killing himself day by day as it were, or he's exhausting himself, his own spiritual energy, physical body is getting for the good of others, for the cause of others. He have had his own experience, 12 years of sadhana, acquired all the wisdom, knowledge, following the path of wisdom and everything. That could have been ended there. At the end of that, the purpose of Ramakrishna would have been closed. But we find its special dedication starts from then. Then he's trying to give that wisdom to the world, to help everyone, whoever is there in the world. Oh, ye, come, 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 I am waiting for you. No? Ye, the pure souls, I am tired of talking with the mundane talks with the people around. Please come, come, come. He's asking us, and we are here because of that. We may not have enough purity, but His grace, infinite grace, has pulled us, at least at the feet of Sri Ramakrishna. And Sri Ramakrishna came, and that he started the whole organization there itself. A very secret machinery, a very secret planning. Though he didn't plan, we say that God does not plan. Ramakrishna is not a planning organization. This Ramakrishna order is not an organization as we do constitute some society. We go create a bylaw and who will be president, who will be secretary. It is not started by that way. It started with Sri Ramakrishna, with spirituality, with deep dedication to God realization, and then the cry for serving others, giving that wisdom to redeem whoever is there seeking for spiritual growth and development, and also to come out of the sufferings of life. He is standing there. So we find that Sri Ramakrishna then started this mission, and that is the Ramakrishna order. In this Ramakrishna order, there is nothing but Ramakrishna. And Ramakrishna is not a person come for some other purpose other than God realization. He started the organization that we know. He's crying himself, he's falling sick, taking the sin of others and redeeming them, giving them illumination. It's not a matter of joke. Sri Ramakrishna is such a power. By look, by touch, he is giving illumination and experience. and redeeming them from all sufferings and bondage, and taking all the negative activities or sins in his own body. And that's why he actually dedicated himself and exhausted himself day by day. And at the point when he is in throat cancer and is in difficulties, he's asking Mother also, Holy Mother, will you not do anything? Am I to do everything? What an appeal! I am getting exhausted, and the people of Calcutta are like worms living in the worldly thoughts day and night. Won't you do anything? See the responsibility, what he has come to give. He gave to the world by collecting this inner circle people, creating that the cancer suffering, the cancer pain, at the same time created that inner circle of devotees. Who are they? Those they did not come to God, Ramakrishna, for material prosperity or wealth or anything, but they came for self-realization, dedication, and for the good of humanity. His mission, his order to establish, that is the starting of the order there, started in minor, mini way in Dakshineswar, and came flourished in Kashipur Garden House, of course, ultimately, and some people also, where Ramakrishna was sick, very much sick, and there the Calcutta boys can come and serve, and that's why Kashipur Garden House played a great role in the foundation of this Ramakrishna order. And where Mother is also serving, all are in, see how the inner circle group is all closed together in one place surrounding Ramakrishna. And everyone is day and night serving Ramakrishna. In the name of service to Ramakrishna, this Ramakrishna order is gradually getting created there silently with the Holy Mother's blessings and Ramakrishna's insistence on Holy Mother to do something for these people. And he said, I am an ordinary woman, I cannot do anything. What shall I do? But actually, it is her mission, this Sarada Ramakrishna is into this whole order. And then we find that this Ramakrishna order is gaining ground in not knowing that principle. Swami Vivekananda, Ramakrishna is asking, making him understand that he has the talent and he's entrusting him the responsibility to take care of these boys who have given up their home and they are dedicated for God realization. Let them be together and let them nurture themselves. And then Sri Ramakrishna entered into Vivekananda. In the Balaram Bose's house, we know that story. Sri Ramakrishna was one day crawling like that, and Swami Vivekananda was saying, Lo, lo, that man is entering into me. Lo, that man is entering into me. And Ramakrishna said, Sala, my rascal, what do you say? Kirid Kurchis, what are you talking in English? I shall enter into you. And he felt that his Ramakrishna entered into Vivekananda. Vivekananda is the outside body, but spirit, the spirituality, the depth, and the redeeming desire for which God incarnated and brought his band of warriors, Brahmananda, Shivananda, and all the Baburam and all came down and he entered into him. And through him, he manifested his mission activity. So we find that it is, but before that we find that Swami Vivekananda is not interested in this work. He is interested in his samadhi. First of all, he is not accepting Mother Kali. And those stories we all know. Sri Ramakrishna is working hard and he was so happy when He accepted Ma Kali and then taught him the song Tang Ma Tang Ki Tara. You are in the earth, you are in everywhere. Huh? তুমি জলে তুমি স্থলে তুমি আদ্য মূলে গোমা আছো সর্বঘটে অর্ঘটে সাকার আকার নিরাকার. That experience of seeing the Divine Mother everywhere we are talking about, that is the foundation of this Ramakrishna order. It is not a social organization. It is a spiritual organization. It is serving the Divine Mother, if you call in this language, or if you call it is service to God. There is nothing less than that. That's why Sri Ramakrishna one day was talking about that everything is God, the door sill, the floor, wall, everything is permeated with consciousness. Then he was talking to Hajra, that story in Dakshineshwar. And Swamiji Ramakrishna came out from his room and said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "I am talking about," and he is laughing and mimicking, saying that, what type of statement, no? The koti is Ishwar, bati is Ishwar, the pot is Ishwar, the floor is Ishwar. What is this? And Sri Ramakrishna touched him, gave that experience. That experience is very important. It is not God, is not transcendental. God is immanent. Very foundation of Ramakrishna tradition, Ramakrishna order, is foundation service to God and divine. There is nothing but that divine. And Ramakrishna touched and he had that experience. And it is everywhere. Even the cast iron, what you call the fence in the Hedua Park. And he was hitting his head to see whether it is consciousness or it is a cast iron fence. So this is the seeing God everywhere and seeing God everywhere to serve. That has been injected into Sri Ramakrishna by Sri Ramakrishna into Vivekananda. And he had a mission, but Ramakrishna had the mission. There is no other mission. People misunderstood because Ramakrishna in the gospel we read, God realization is the goal. If God comes before you, shall you ask for a hospital dispensary? Or will you ask for God realization? So God realization. When Swami Vivekananda presented this idea, even to his Guru Bhais, he has great struggle to understand that as if we are deviating from the ideal of God realization and we are engaging into social activity. Yesterday, Atma Gyanananda said about it, gave the story about the Akhandananda Swami serving God, seeing God serving the orphans and serving the poor and needy, seeing the divine, and he used to do that. We do the puja time, Sahasra Shisha Purusha, Sahasraksha Sahasrapat. When you bathe the deity, we chant that mantra every puja time. That it is the Lord who have millions of hands and millions of heads. He is all around, no? And we are bathing him. And he used to use this mantra. When these orphan Muslim boys, or he used to bathe them, he used to chant this mantra, Om Sahasra Shisha Purusha. It is a tremendous spiritual tradition. We have to understand this Ramakrishna order, as has been said, it is practical Vedanta. It is not Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is also good, but this standard is much higher than that. So Sri Ramakrishna gave this tremendous spirituality injected into every one of his disciples. But we find that that was not enough. Every one of them entered into deep spiritual practice. After having everything, even Swami Brahmananda made famous statement that you got Vijaya Krishna Goswami asked him that Ramakrishna gave you all these experiences. Why are you still engaged in this type of deep, austere practices? He says, Sri Ramakrishna has given, but we are trying to make it our own. After making their own what they did, they forgot about themselves. Only for the good of others they sacrificed. This Ramakrishna order is founded on this experience of seeing God everywhere. They are the founders. So they saw God and served God through every service. Lecturing, he's not lecturing the people, but he's the people, God in the form of different costume and the veil of ignorance. To remove that veil, Vivekananda worked all over. In India, he worked the same God inside, covered with the veil of poverty and ignorance and health condition, no one to take care of their any basic needs of life. So he tried to improve that quality, meaning serving God, serving God, serving God. That's why the twin ideal that is Atmana Moksha and Jagat Hita. And that's our practice. They went from the top, they are seeing divine everywhere. And it's easy for them to serve. That's why they have less conflict. We are starting from this angle to see God and serve. But we are not trained to do that. That's why our service time it gets mixed with anger, frustration, failures, this, that. But our principle is that to see God and serve. That should be the policy, nothing less than that. So, Sri Ramakrishna was Nirgun, Nirakar, Satchidananda. He used to steep himself into that. And then that Satchidananda is Sagun and Sakara in different forms, and he is worshipping them. So, Sri Ramakrishna created this Sangha not by any other rules, but by love and compassion and connection with the divinity. Giving them the touch of divinity, they connected themselves. And he started this organization by collecting the sadhus, how he came into the dream of Suren Babu, who is to serve Ramakrishna with monetary help. And he also came to Naren in the dream and said, I am now gone physically, and you also are scattered all around. So collect all the boys. It is direct instruction. Collect all the boys to Naren. Suren Babu, you give the money. Who is doing all these things? And then after that, they are in the Baranagar monastery and they are doing austerities, tremendous austerity. What? Day and night, nothing but meditation, prayer, study, and totally intoxicated in God. And then going to look at that yesterday, Atmagyan also mentioned all these things. That when he was walking, he's trying to see why he is going to India to see from one part of the country, he was going to Himalayas. And then Himalayas he pulled down and went to visit the whole of India. What is the purpose of his visiting India? He saw what is India, what is the potential power, the great mission, directing unconsciously, holding the hand of Swami Vivekananda and this guiding him. And then he went to the nooks and corners of India, saw the vibrant condition of India's spirituality dormant in it, covered by because of the poverty and other things, how to redeem. And he became restless and restless. And see, he's getting direction to go come to this Chicago. It is not he is planning in his own way, no ego there. And then that's why we say when there is no ego, you do something, it will have its miraculous effect. When there is ego, there is I, creates all this trouble. So Swami Vivekananda went to the West, came to the West, how? He got direction. Sri Ramakrishna walking over the ocean or beckoning, come, come, come. Still, he is not convinced. The direct instruction from Holy Mother. What shall I do? Mother said, yes, my child, it is for you. And also Swami Vivekananda said, you know what is happening in Chicago, it is for me only. You link all these things, you see, you cannot separate out Ramakrishna, Vivekananda, Holy Mother, etc. But then still in the relative level, we can see how is guided every moment by Sri Ramakrishna, by the divine. And then when it went, when he came, started from there, inspiring, inspirational letters, one after another, writing to Rakhal, writing to Akhandananda. Oh my God, they should be read again and again and again. What an inspiration to dedicate their life for the good of others. Forget your own mukti. So what is stand? Forget your mukti. Let this life go. We have gone through many, many lives. What if this life go? Let it be for the good of others. Don't forget God realization. Nothing happens. Only unselfish service. Don't look back to anything. This Ramakrishna order has now about, and now it is crossed 125 years. No? It's a big journey. We find from the early days that when the Sangha is created, Holy Mother is steering the, holding the steering, what you call, rod of the Ramakrishna boat, and guiding, from points of philosophical crisis to the material crisis. Philosophical crisis, Holy Mother is guiding. Ramakrishna now working as mother, and she is working, philosophical conflict, Advaita Ashram. Shall we worship God, the nameless, formless, absolute? Or is it bad to worship Ramakrishna even? No, this is a place only for, and mother. This conflict came and mother gave the solution. Yes, Ramakrishna is Advaita. You are his children. You are also Advaita. So what Naren has done as correct. All stamped by Holy Mother. And that's why this holy organization is great. You can worship in the form, absolute form, or Saguna form, or Avatar form. And it matters little, it is only one, worship of the one. And this great philosophical conflict. The story when Swami Vivekananda passed away, that even the tradition I am talking, that Mahapurush Maharaj was there in the Benares, and he heard that Swamiji passed away on the 4th of July. Next morning, when he heard first, there is a photograph of Swamiji. He brought that photo and then placed in the same altar that we put now in the same level. That time it is very difficult to think about that. And Mahapurush Maharaj put the Vivekananda's photograph by the side of Ramakrishna in the same level. And the old sadhus, and they were all confused. But Mahapurush Maharaj has done, who will say what? So they didn't approve of this situation, but they wrote to Holy Mother, thinking that Mother will then say the right thing, and it is not the right thing to. Ramakrishna is Guru, Vivekananda is disciple. So disciple and Guru should not mean one level, no? It is not our custom to see and think. And then what happened? Holy Mother says, oh, Tarok bhul koriyache. Tarok has made a mistake. Had he been there, he would have kept his overhead head. Naren would have been a place in the head of Ramakrishna. And he has mistakenly kept it on the same level. Yes, Tarok has made a mistake. See the solution, motherly words, it's unparalleled. We get into conflict, but we fight. But here you see how Mother giving her verdict in what language, and how it soothes the heart, and the profundity of it. So it is Swami Vivekananda and Ramakrishna are not too different. And whatever Swami Vivekananda he said, whatever I have said, do you think I am speaking? He's holding my hand. No, he was in such choked with emotion. Do you think I say anything? We hear now, we know Swami Vivekananda is sleeping in one room, and the next whose house it was, that whole night you were there hearing that somebody Swamiji is talking to somebody because he is exhausted in speaking every day, giving talk. What to speak something new. So Ramakrishna is talking to him what to say next day. That's why whatever we find in Vivekananda is an explanation of Ramakrishna. Ramakrishna's Kathamrita is very simple, but in the logical language and things which is understandable by the Western mind and intellectuals, we go to Swami Vivekananda. And Vivekananda is the establisher of this Sangha. And we find this Sangha went through so much of turmoils and difficulties in early days of Belur Math. We know, you all know, Belur Math was purchased, but it was it was a boat repairing. They used to repair the sailboats and other boats, and naturally its slope was like that. They had to fill up with the ground is to filled up, and that was done. Bhutishananda Maharaj and others, we hear from their own statements that they used to carry, like in our India we have bark. Bark means one piece of bamboo and hanging two chulis on baskets on both sides. They used to carry that mud from some distance and fill up with rat holes and potholes in the whole campus. We are walking over that now. Early days, how much austere practice they did and how much they were criticized for their spiritual life. Time has passed. We are now Ramakrishna order is all known all over India. It is doing such tremendous activity. Society understands that, but it is a great responsibility. People have now recognition. They understand that authenticity of these sadhus. They are genuine people. They are leading a good life and serving the spirit of serving God in man. But there is I will focus on this side because we as a monk and a devotee of Ramakrishna order, we have greater responsibility to be reminded. Because this order is not a social organization, as I said. It is not a political organization. It is not a bachelor's club. It is a spiritual organization. One goal, all of us, whether monk, whether devotee, want to know God, want to see God, and to serve God. And serving because we are bound to serve because we are not meditators. We cannot meditate 24 hours. Yesterday discussion was very beautiful discussion, but it is a practical point that neither we can meditate for hours. Hey, one day, today, excitement is good. We go to retreat, I'll do meditation. We tried all those that, but we are not fit for that. Maharaj used to say, we have done for that. We are not capable of doing things. What austerity can we do? No? How much strength do we have? But 24 hours, how can we spend in meditation? Can you pray all the time? And if you do the puja, bhakti, you will be a pujari. And always you will chant mantra, but mind will be roaming other places. Tomar puja chale tomai bhule thaki. I forget you, O Lord, in the name of puja. I only do dhupir dhwan, gandho, phool, and then my time goes away like that. Who thinks of God? How many minutes we can think of God? We are not capable of doing that. We are not capable of meditation. Day and night I say, I am Atman, I am who will feed you? You have to go to office, earn money, pay bills. And also if you do, even we are not fit for 24 hours doing that type of thing. But we are capable of doing karma. But how this karma can be done in this spirit, not as karma, but direct service to God. God, Sri Ramakrishna started this, not Vivekananda's philosophy. We are thinking it is Vivekananda has insisted, and many people think about that. In early days, there was so much conflict about that. That it is Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna did not teach that I telling that lady that you love God and pray to God day and night. Or he said, I cannot do that. I have one my nephew. What shall I do? I have to take care of the nephew. But yes, you have your nephew. Try to see he is a Gopala. Just because he says simple language, we don't understand. And if you go to Vedanta, you say Brahman, Atman, Maya, Avidya, ignorance and superimposition, this, that, Ajahat Lakkan, Jahat Lakkan, and all this terminology, then you say, oh, who is saying something? But Thakur said simply, don't Jahat, Ajahat. Don't Jahat, he is a Bhaipo. Jahat, Tago, Bhagavad Tago. Ajahat, don't give up the internal reality, which is Satchidananda. That is the Krishna, or the baby Krishna. So you are serving Krishna. So bathe him. Then give up that outer portion and then bathe him. As if you are bathing Narayana. And then it's a puja. How he is giving just in one lift, giving to the highest idea. Sri Ramakrishna's unique teaching capacity and unique ideas which we can apply in our life. This remarkable change will come. You give a glass of water to anybody, you are thinking that you are giving a man, woman. But get out of this external identity. You are serving. You are fortunate that you have been given the opportunity to give a glass of water. Not that question comes, oh, my duty, oh, I am doing so much, oh, is doing nothing, this, that, all these talks we talk because we don't understand this philosophy. And in this age, this is Ramakrishna order. It has brought this philosophy into our practice into our day-to-day life. And then that lady attained a high state before her passing away. She had his vision experience, no? So an ordinary letter, ordinary woman, not going to any school, learning anything, Ramakrishna gave him only this idea. Try to serve your Gopala. Only your nephew and Gopala. Get out the other aspect. Think that you are serving Gopala in you. The same service we do every day. How much work we do. And that's why it is Ramakrishna order emphasized the four yogas together to make it balanced, but more or less, you see, we live in our day-to-day life more on active life. You will have to do some cooking, you will have to go for grocery, you will have to do some job. How to do that job, in which aspect, and also can be spiritually uplifting, and we can make a success in this spirit life. But there is a goat. What is that good story of one as a goat? And Sri Ramakrishna said to look after that also as the service to God. No, so the life, how we are improving in our character, how we are developing in our spiritual life. The glory of his Ramakrishna organization is how many saints he has produced. Any organization, if it is a spiritual organization, what is the achievement of spiritual and not how many buildings, how many activity level, how many hundreds of people are coming. That is not the criterion. Criterion is how many people are getting transformed in their life and character. It is the Ramakrishna stream, and it's branched in hundreds and hundreds of ways. No, say we have 200 centers in India, and around I do not know how much. I mean, a little more maybe, and sub centers, etc. And this type of devotees run centers are about 2,000, more than 2,000 in India. I know, Bhava Prachar they call it, and in this country with Swami Shahananda Maharaj's very one-pointed attempt, we are at least 15 sub-centers start working now. What is the purpose of this? After 125 years, we'll have to assess that. Outside glory will come. That is not important. That will come. But internal change, internal transformation. We should be such that people will look at us and say, oh, they belong to Ramakrishna order. They belong, you are all initiated devotees, most of you. And those who are not even, you are coming with love. That we be reminded about the goal of our life. That we come here only for subjective transformation. We don't want to change the whole world. That is God's business. But by changing ourselves, we contribute to the world. And this Sangha has produced innumerable number of Brahmogyanis. At least we had the fortune to see many of them. We don't understand, but their life, their way of sit at their feet, we hear from them, we find what a transformation they have created in them by thinking of Ramakrishna. Yesterday it was very important talk that this photograph, looking at that photograph, people will learn what is called samadhi. People will learn what is called renunciation, what is called detachment, what is called God intoxication, what is called love for humanity. So we have such a heritage, 125 years of the journey, but we are in a crucial point because Swami Sharadananda Swami said that in the life of an organization, when their bad time is when people, not bad time, good time is when people criticize. You do, whatever you do, people will criticize. No, they used to think that the Belur Math was the garden house of Vivekananda. He has come from, and some Western women are coming, and they're living with the women, and this is going on. So that was the concept that time. Sharadananda Swami is singing devotional song. The Baranagar young people thought that, oh, they're doing something with the women. Okay, so we should give a good teaching today. And they went and saw a fat person, Sharadananda, with eyes closed and totally devoted in and singing song. So that was the time of criticism. And now is the time of acceptance. That's very important point, to be watchful, watch God. That's for the whole Sangha. And Sangha activity has expressed so much. And also, we are saying about these institutions also, here also. We should be careful our own life. So 1 year, but we are here for a longer time. So we should have to focus on this idea that our responsibility is to build up our own life and to make such a life for peace for myself. Why I shall not be remaining in peace? Why shall I be disturbed coming over here? Why? You see, analyze, there is some ego conflict. Let my ego go away. I am not here for that. I am coming for this great realization for which Ramakrishna came. And the stream of experience and knowledge has been handed down through why Swami Sarananda was inspired by that. Who? Who inspired him? We inspired him. It is somebody else. It is the same power, same spiritual energy which inspired like that, sparkulated through him. So it is a great opportunity, we'll have to think. This is a place for pilgrimage. How many people will come? Innumerable ages. As time passes, people will come. People are scorched by the sufferings of life, pain and agonies. This place should be a place for peace and harmony and joy and just dedication. Don't look right and left. Do whatever you can. And just make your life blessed. I am happy that I could sweep the floor a little bit today. Forget that who is talking, who is saying what that. Thinking that way to transformation of my character. I am to be saturated with God. and I'm serving God and God and God alone. This spirit is to be brought back. That is the heritage of this Ramakrishna order, and that I want to emphasize, that I am to be infused in this spiritual ideal. Otherwise, this will be as in other, it will be another organization. We are organized here. We are sect, but we are sectless sect. This is the sectlessness, that I want God and I want to serve God. And if 10 people join together with this idea, automatic good will come to the society. Even one person does that, that will bring good to the world, because it is self-satisfaction, self-purity, joy, peace inside, and he will create that peace and joy, and others will be inspired to follow that path. So it is our great responsibility at this age, at this 25th years of celebration of the Belur Math Ramakrishna mission, and of course Ramakrishna Math has already been there, Varanagar Monastery and others. The Swamis are working on the mission side. So this, and also this, our organization here, Vedanta, Vivekananda Vedanta Society Center. So here we are all should have to remind ourselves that we are here for God realization, no other purpose. It is only we come to enrich ourselves in spirituality. And how will we be more and more selfless? How will we feeling great joy to serve God in any way? And this is an inspiration. Why temple? That is one Swami Sharananda said. And also this is the purpose of it's place where similar-minded people will come. No? Look at that. When I am traveling in the plane and I find someone sitting, suddenly he speaks about the one Swami Vivekananda. How do you feel? Wow, he's Vivekananda. Oh, someone says Ramakrishna. Ramakrishna. Someone is reading a small book, the Aspect something. You say, oh my God, he's my friend. Huh? So you feel so close to that person. So similarly, here is the question that we should have to feel. Je jon Ramakrishna bhaje, se hoy amar pran re. So let us deepen our spirituality, and I crave the blessings of Thakur Ma and Swamiji upon all of us, so that we become greatly devoted to them and fulfill the mission for which this is established, for which Ramakrishna came. God himself suffered so much in cancer, emaciated and died for the good of humanity. Vivekananda, with the age of 39 years, 6 months, he died talking, day and night working. I shall be born again and again. And again he says, I shall cast this body off like an old worn out garment, but I shall not cease to work. I shall inspire men everywhere until the whole world knows that he is one with God. That is the great mission, and he is working through us. Let us open our heart and accept that. Thank you.
Maharaj, what a beautiful talk. It's very, very inspiring, wonderful talk. We're told that we shouldn't have pride, but to have pride to be a devotee is a wonderful thing. To have pride in this order and to feel how much grace there has to be for us to be connected with Thakur Ma Swamiji and the order and everything, and how much responsibility we have to live up to that ideal and be an example. So the words of Maharaj today were very, very and really touching. Really touched the heart, I'm sure, for all of us. We have a short break now, not a tea break or anything like that, a chance to get up and stretch a little bit or use the bathroom, and then please try to come back as quickly as possible. We're running a little bit late. And then Swami Yogatmananji will talk after that. So we're all looking forward to that. And so if you can get back within 5 or 10 minutes, we're just stand up and stretch, and then we'll have the next session.
1901-এ যে দুর্গাপুজোটা হলো না, ওইটাতে মানুষ চেঞ্জ হয়ে গেল। ওইটাতে মানুষ বুঝতে পেরেছিল, ওই যে সবাইকে ডাকা হলো, ওই যে ওটা কৃষ্ণলাল মহারাজ পুজো করেছে, কৃষ্ণলাল মহারাজ আমাদের ভীষণ ক্লোজ ছিলেন। না না, বুঝতে পারতো না, ওই ব্যাপারটা মিথ্যে বলা।
হিন্দু নাম শুনো।
হ্যাঁ, না না, এইটাই কৃষ্ণলাল মহারাজ আমাদের খুব ক্লোজ ছিলেন। কৃষ্ণলাল মহারাজ তিনি ফার্স্ট দুর্গা পুজো করেছিলেন 1901। উনি তো পুজো করেন তখন দেখছিলেন, উনি তখন ছিলেন ব্রহ্মচারী ছিলেন। কৃষ্ণলাল মহারাজ আমার পরিবার ভয়ানক ক্লোজ ছিলেন, বিরল। গণেশের কার্তিক আমাদের শুরু করে
I think so. February 97, he left this world 5 years. Between 1999 to 2001, he was in the within the amount of work he did. বলরাম বাবু খুব হেল্প করে আমার
হ্যাঁ, নিশ্চয়ই। তাহলে বাংলাদেশ।
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ বাংলাদেশ বাংলাদেশ চলে গেলেন But you know, he lived up to all everybody liked him. Nobody আমার যে ঠাকুরকে দেখতেছে ভগবান তো ভাইটা বলবো he is God. He can do anything. So I want something. Yeah, I know. আমি তো নিজে মনে I went 71 I got the job. আমি সঙ্গে সঙ্গে I went to ঠাকুর বলে না তিনি সব শুনছেন ব্যাকুল ব্যাকুল জয় ঠাকুর
You know that. Everyone, please take your seats. We'll try to start shortly. Of course, we need our speaker. Thank you very much. Yeah.
শীত লাগছে, হ্যাঁ আপনার শীত লাগে? আর লাগবে না, লাগে বললে আরো দিবে তো। This I learned in training center, you know, that how Bengali words, একজন দিল খুশি আমার জন্য। লাগছে? লাগছে? হ্যাঁ। আসুন। Then, now এখনো আমি পাচ্ছেন। Oh, he is such a young man, you know, except for diabetes.
84.
Except for diabetes, he
No way. I have a lot of other things that I don't discuss.
Okay. Hatu আছে,
No,
but he had surgery.
Yes.
Yes, so now they will be all right.
Mentally, ওইটা খুব ভালো, বিগ সেভিংস অ্যাকচুয়ালি, কিন্তু এখন হচ্ছে যে উইকনেস এসে গেছে। আমি করি, আমার দোষ হচ্ছে কি মানে
আমিও করি।
I have our good intent, কিন্তু এক্সারসাইজগুলো করতে আরম্ভ করি, কিছু চলে যায়।
I also do that, you know. And that saved me from this surgery. Yeah. My knees also, the doctor had told you may have to go for knee replacements. But then he also told right now there is only a small tear.
Cartilage.
Yeah. So if you do some exercises, something like that, that will go away also. And fortunately that will go away.
That's good.
Yes, yes. Yes, I have to leave quickly, you know. Yes. Oh, come on, you know, very that will I will begin. And then
Okay.
they will come.
ইলেকট্রনিক দিয়ে একটু দেখে লাইট অফ করে দিল,
বললো ঘন্টা হয়ে গেল, 1 ঘন্টা হয়ে গেল। ও এমনি লোকে আসে না, একটা চাবুক লাগবে, একটা চাবুক লাগে, ও এমনি আসে কি?
আমি ঠিক আছে। আসলে আমার সুবিধা হচ্ছে সবচেয়ে একটা চাবুক লাগালে পরে আমরাই থাকবো।
মহারাজ আপনার চাটা মানে যাওয়ার সময় ফ্রেশ করে দেবো, আপনি কি?
ও একটা আমি নিয়ে
হ্যাঁ আমি আপনার
তাতে ভরে দিব।
ওটা ভরে দেবো, শুধু চা, চিনি টিনি কিছু
না না না,
শুধু চা।
না চিনি নেই,
কাঁচা লঙ্কা নেই মহারাজ,
কাঁচা
কাঁচা
লঙ্কা ধোয়া হলেও চলবে, কাশতে হবে তার মানে।
It's my great pleasure now to welcome Swami Yogatmanandaji. Swamiji, you all know here that he's head of our Vedanta Society of Providence, but a great supporter of this center. And whenever there's any opportunity for us to invite him, that he's been very, very gracious and very helpful. And we're very grateful to him for that. And a wonderful speaker with a wonderful sense of humor, and a very dear friend of mine also. So very happy to welcome Swami Yogatmanand.
Revered Sarvadevanandaji Maharaj, dear Atmajnanandaji, then our Bhasvatanandaji, Kumar Maharaj, and all the wonderful devotees. It is very fortunate for me to be here this afternoon. Is it afternoon now? Almost.
Almost.
4 more minutes. Right. Okay. Yeah, 2 more minutes. So we are still in the AM. It is a great joy to listen to Revered Sarvadevananda's this wonderful talk, bringing out the salient features of this order and what we are expected to do. I was very inspired by what he was speaking. And one point is now it makes me feel what should I speak now? Because all the nice points he has already very well elaborated on. So, but since I am standing before you and there is this microphone, I should speak a little bit. It is the twofold purpose that this program has been arranged. One is 125th anniversary of this Ramakrishna order, and therefore it is good to reflect on what this order actually represents, and thus uh, see how we can make ourselves fit into that mold. One statement of Sri Ramakrishna that the mold is ready. Now you have to put your lives in it. So this is putting the lives in the mold of Sri Ramakrishna. When you put some material in out like what the mold was, it doesn't become materially the mold. Material remains different, but the shape becomes like that which was molded. We are not going to become Sri Ramakrishna, but we will take the shape of Sri Ramakrishna in our attitude towards life. We will accept this idea that God realization is the goal of our life. This is the central characteristic I feel of a devotee of Sri Ramakrishna, a member of Sri Ramakrishna order, a follower of Sri Ramakrishna, because this was the central theme as he was living in the body and the order that followed his example. This again has been made the central theme of life, that the goal of human life is to realize God. That is our indwelling reality, the reality of the whole universe. That is the goal. And what does it mean by goal? That all our actions get directed to that. Once in Belur in our training center, somebody pointed out there, just before the meals time, sadhus come out from their rooms or offices and are walking around on the road. And then they're waiting for to go for, and as soon as one Swami pointed it out to me. Look, as soon as the bell rings, now all the feet will automatically turn wherever they are, at whatever point they are. They may be on the east side, on the west side, on the south, in the north. All feet will turn to that one point, the dining hall. And that is the goal. So for that purpose, that is the goal. But the goal of life is what? God realization. So If that is the goal, where our life should our life turn to? Quite clear, no brainer. All the activities, our feet should turn in that direction. That is the most important message. The other thing that this center, this beautiful place, has about completed a year. So we should look back and see what wonderful things we achieved and so forth. There is a word in Sanskrit called Sinhavalokanam. It is said, I myself have not seen that, but it is said that a lion, after going some distance, then looks back that what path uh, it has come. So, a center, 1 year has almost elapsed. So, we should look back and see what have we achieved, how we should map our activities in future and so forth. It is a time for introspection as well as deliberation that about what how our course should move in the proper direction. So this is another purpose when we say 1 year. Okay, let me take a stock of situation that how I have been, we have utilized this 1 year. What pitfalls were there? What mistakes did we make? And not to just brood over the mistake. That is not the idea. Looking at the mistakes means how not to make those in future. It is not to get depressed. We made mistake." No, that is then a case for a psychologist. You have to go to our Kusum sitting here, like that the clinical psychologist. So depression, we suffer from depression. So somebody actually, why I am telling this, somebody had told me that, well, when I see that so many mistakes I committed in life, I feel very depressed. No, actually, that should not happen. Our way of looking at the mistakes should change. That the mistake happens because we made that error was there, but that becomes then a way for us to learn. Those who do not make mistakes never will learn. Uh, do we want to learn or not? Yes. Yeah, we want to learn. So do not let us not get worried or depressed by looking at the mistakes. They tell us how we can now bring about correction in life, how we can make ourselves better. So that is the reason that after 1 year we take a pause to think, introspect. Introspection is a great spiritual quality, a virtue that a spiritual aspirant must have. And it is hard, to cultivate it. Why? Because we are always busy in extrospecting rather than introspecting. External, we keep on inspecting the mistakes of others, criticize others for that, but we do not take a hard look at how have I been, how I would have been able to make things better. So it is just to take a lesson. And then the great things we did in spite of lot of difficulties, and we should feel reasonably proud about that yes, we did achieve these things and we will achieve these better things also as we move forward. So, let me already, Sarvadevananji has told these things that what is the idea in Ramakrishna mission? It is Sri Ramakrishna expressed uh, in the three bodies that we see, there are three different ways of expressing the same principle that manifested as Sri Ramakrishna. How beautifully he expressed that they are not three different things. It is the same power is getting expressed, same ideal is getting expressed. For example, Sri Ramakrishna came and delivered that famous Chicago lecture. Ah, now, just imagine, think about it. Could he have done in that body? You cannot even imagine that putting on this kind of dhoti, getting into samadhi every now and then, and then didn't know more than 3-4 words of English. Uh, could he have delivered such lectures? But the whole ideal is that of Sri Ramakrishna. So he got into a new body which can perform these things. So this is a very simple thing to understand really, that you take like the different attire you take. Suppose you have to take, do some yard work. You will not go into your fancy these dress nice saris to do the yard work. That would be very difficult to do. It is, but the other means, the yard work attire, you will not come here in that attire either. So different dress, different attire to fulfill different purpose. So that is exactly Swami Vivekananda is an attire. A body is an attire. All the students of Vedanta know this, that I am not the body. I have put on the body for a purpose, and I can just take it out and put another body. Actually, we do it all the time, but we don't think about it. Like when you go to sleep, and then you take another attire and see things happening in the dream. One attire, one body is in these night clothes lying on the bed. Another body, your body, is riding on a unicorn and going here and there. It is the same thing. That's so exactly. Only we do not have the power to do it consciously. But that is not a problem for Sri Ramakrishna. And he can enter with his body Vivekananda, specially made for this purpose of delivering the message. If somebody may not feel convinced, he is the incarnation for this age. So this means you need, written proof. So Sri Ramakrishna wrote on the wall, Noren Shikhe Dibe, Narendra will teach. So that was what that particular body, Narendranath, was. So, and Narendranath got inspired actually in America that to start an organization. We know that story, all of us are aware that he was staying at that Leon's house in Chicago, and then that lady, she heard Vivekananda expressing some an excitement that I am fascinated. So first she thought that some young woman might have been the cause of that fascination here. He is a young man, and then quite natural, some other young woman might have attracted his mind. And seeing that, when she asked, "Who is that fortunate lady?" Not a lady; it is organization. It is the organization. that how people do things in an organized way. It is very difficult for Indians to get into this. Everywhere we have that no organized activity as such. And an example is disorganized activity is go to any Indian center, even in America. uh, that it is the all disorganization gets incarnated in that organization. So it is nothing happens timely. It is and so many things. Nobody is very responsible as such. So Swami Vivekananda knew that this will not help. We have to have an organization, get organized. What happens? We then pool the energies together, and that becomes then a great force to change the direction in which the society is going. After all, society is made of human beings. So all these human beings organized means coming together for a purpose. So it creates power. You all must have done that experiment in your middle school or primary school, that take a convex lens and then concentrate the rays of sun on a piece of paper, and that paper catches fire. Why? Because those rays are coming together in a harmonious way, getting concentrated, and then that generates power. Otherwise, disorganized, we just walk in the sun. We don't get burned. We may feel a little hot sometimes, but that's about it. So, getting organized to what? To fulfill that vision of Sri Ramakrishna, to get that ideal in our lives. And for that, uh, think of everyone is that the image of Sri Ramakrishna. All of us have that Sri Ramakrishna in us. Everyone who feels that God realization is the goal of life, that is reflecting the glory of Sri Ramakrishna. So let us see that we should not be that individualistic. My, and then that fellow, no, but let us be together. It is not that, as Sarvadevananji very beautifully pointed out, that uh, one has to give up this tendency that I is only so much. Let us see that in all, everyone, there is the same I dwelling. He invoked that Akhandananji wedding, an orphan little boy chanting Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha, that in all hands and feet, that God alone is dwelling, that one Purusha, one being, one life is in all. Because of ignorance, we think this is different and that is different. That is not the case. We have to see that all are really part and parcel of this ideal. Also, therefore, this organization has to have the guidance for everyone. Everyone. Because everyone is at a different point. Like the example I gave, that the bell in the dining hall ringing. That and it rings pretty loudly. That it is those who are close by, they have to put their fingers in the ears. But it is natural because it is to be heard for about a mile. So it is now that the person who is in the east has to start walking towards the west. The one who is already on the west side has to start walking towards the east. So we are at all different positions, but we have this common goal in our life, and that is the organization, the Ramakrishna order, is to provide the means for everyone to realize this. And this vision has been given by Swami Vivekananda first in one of his letters, that what our ideal is, and what became later in a modified form, that is its second edition, that is the rules for Ramakrishna Mutt that Swami Vivekananda drafted. So, although the exact those rules, they are kind of thought to be private, only for the monastic uh, members of the order. But actually, they are no secret as such. You will find them in Sister Nivedita's book. You will find them in that letter that I told about. And here, that I am reading now, is Swami Shivananda's lecture here, Mahapurush Maharaj. At that time, he was the president of the order when in 1926 a convention, the first convention of the order, had been organized uh, uh, because of this, that, well, all the direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna are slowly casting off their bodies, and then before that all of them are gone, let us have a concrete presentation of this ideal in the form of a worldwide convention. And in that convention, Swami Shivananda gave a great address. Uh, he was not actually speaking. Uh, Somebody had written it, somebody had read it. One Swami wrote it, another Swami had read it. And then, as the lecture was finished, everybody applauded. And Mahapurush Maharaj, sitting in the chair, he also applauded. Somebody pointed, it was your lecture. That fellow wrote and that fellow read out what is mine in it. And he was a person with no ego at all, no I and mine there. It is Sri Ramakrishna alone was present there. So there is a great incident that I will like to tell about this, that when he was very sick towards the end of his life at Belur, and somebody of his disciples, some monks, they were offering a personal service to him. And then he sensed uh, immediately, now these people do not need to be told. He sensed immediately that those who are serving me, they are feeling a sense of being superiors to other monks because they got the great fortune to serve Mahapurush Maharaj, those others. So he immediately sensed that, and he told them once, that a very inspiring passage, that good that you are serving this body. What is here after all? It is all Sri Ramakrishna. You are serving Sri Ramakrishna. And not only you, those who are working in the office, in the keeping the accounts, those who are working in the kitchen, not only those who are working in the different places, gone to do relief in different works, they all are serving me, because he is not just limited to a small body. He is everybody. He saw is serving Sri Ramakrishna. It is this idea is to be cultivated. Where am I? Wherever I am present, let me orient myself in that direction. So I will read just a couple of passages from this, and then will give some relief to you by stopping my lecture. It is. I was giving one lecture myself and Tyaganand. We were there, and then it was on that 4th July function about liberation and all that. So I spoke first, and then Tyaganandji afterwards remarked, so now at least we have got liberation from Yogatmananda lecture. So it is. So let me read from this lecture. At the very outset, we find that he has linked up into a single purpose two apparently diverse ideals, that is, one's own liberation and service for the welfare of the world. Atmano mokshartham jagat hitaya cha. So both these he has linked together. Uh, Through this mud, he has sought to weld together the ideals of renunciation and service, work and worship, which, as generally people believe, cannot possibly combine without proving detrimental to each other. Combined in a wrong way, and then they prove detrimental to each other. Ah, Imagine, for example, if you have nice pies, and then you give the hot pepper seasoning, pour on it, baghar, that what will happen that both will be spoiled, that they do not combine like that. But if you combine them in the right way, they both become very useful as we sit to eat. This is also useful, that is also useful. They all enhance each other. There is a beautiful Sanskrit couplet, that it is that when combined in a proper way, then payasa kamalam kamalena payah. Payasa kamalena vibhati sarah, a pond, there are the lotuses and there is the water in the pond. So, water makes the lotus beautiful. The lotus makes the water beautiful, and both together bring beauty to this pond. So, that is how work and worship needs to be combined, put together, because both make us transcend our little egos. So, this is an ideal that Swami Vivekananda put together in this way. According to his ideal, the attainment of personal liberation need not necessarily contradict the dedication of life to the service of humanity, nor should the latter, in its highest aspect, be thought of as apart from the activities of a man who is eager to pierce through the mist that has covered the effulgent truth lying within one's own self. So, this is the ideal that is presented. So, he also makes here, gives some quotes from Vivekananda's these rules, that he says, uh, this is the special significance of the message to his countrymen in order to save the mutt from the inevitable calamity that had befallen similar institution in olden times. Swamiji warned its guardians to see that it must not lapse into a mere Thakurbadi or a chapel where superficial ceremonies take the place of the spirit of the things. It is Babaji Der Thakurbadi. Swami Vivekananda has warned about it in his those mud rules and in his talks many times, that the organization should not uh, fall into becoming a worship place. It is such a worship place, I feel, that Karl Marx statement about religion applies to such a place. It is opium of the people. Just people get forgetful by eating opium. What happens? You forget about your pain. This kind of religious place where you go for what do something like worship and then eat prasad, praise each other's clothings. That's it, a favorite pastime for people. That and then come back. This is what opium of the people. We forget the purpose of our lives. So the religion is not meant for that. So it is, he says, a mutt based on such a lofty ideal, reflecting the life of Sri Ramakrishna, its guardian angel, cannot be anything but Catholicity itself. We must welcome everybody. When I was in Shillong, once a Catholic priest there, a good friend of mine had come. So we were talking, and I said, "Can you have this?" There was some rasgulla and something. Can you have this? It will be nice. He said, "I am Catholic, at least in the matter of food. Means I can eat everything." So, the joke apart, but the point is there should be acceptance. The people from all different language groups, different national backgrounds or racial backgrounds, everyone must feel that welcome here. We must, with broad mind, receive everyone, maybe not speaking the language that I am used to speak. I may not be eating the same kind of food that I am used to eat, or may not have the exact thinking that I am used to think. But yet, uh, the spirit of Vivekananda must make us welcome each and every one in this spirit, because that is the spirit that Swami Vivekananda's vision had, that yes, this is for everyone. All those who can take up this ideal, Atmano Mokshartham Jagat Hitaya Cha, for everyone the doors should be open. Everybody should be greeted with a welcoming smile. The person may be young or old, the person may be giving money or not giving money. Uh, that should not at all be consideration. It every person should be given a welcome, a smiling, inviting welcome, friends, and thus that makes us a part of this order. Only giving that Ramakrishna Vivekananda Society or whatever does not make it that. But if we follow this ideal of Catholicity, then yes, we take us everybody together. So, friends, I have spoken a few words on this point. I don't think that it is you needed to hear all this because you already know these things, but it is always, the scriptures say, repetition is useful. Even in the Brahma Sutras, there is an aphorism for that, vritti asakrit upadeshat, that again and again it needs to be imbibed on us. So it is to impress these things on my mind. I have just taken up this exercise of talking, and you became wonderfully helpful mates in this exercise for me. My heartfelt thanks to you, my worshipful pranams to all the Sarvadevananji and other Swamis, and uh, I must express my regret that I will not be able to join the program that is going to follow now because I have to go to Providence, where I come from. I have to give the afternoon talk there. So please forgive me for this, but I wish you all the best. Pranam Swamiji.
Thank you for coming. Wonderful. Extremely good.
See how large-hearted this Swami is, to go to all that trouble to come here, and go straight back and have to speak again. So we're very grateful that Swamiji, that you could come. I'd hope to see you soon.
So 2.5 hours coming.
About coming, it required a little less.
Just 2 minutes.
Now it may take a little more.
We'll bring 3 chairs up, and now will be the opportunity. We're calling it a panel discussion. It'll be mostly question and answer. That Swami Sarvadevananji, Swami Vaswadananji, and myself will be happy to answer any questions.
You only have 2 of these. We should in the back, yes. You can go back where it was. Yeah. So 1 more of these. Yeah. Getting it? Sit here. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Hello. 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 So now is the question from your side, whatever. Yes, we can have mostly the discussion which you are free to put any question coming in your mind for all of us.
I have a question actually. Coming, obviously, it's more the bhakti that we form a relationship with Thakur Ma. We, in times of distress, we form an emotional connection with Thakur and Ma over time. Obviously, coming here now, all of a sudden, we are inculcated into the so-called the principles of non-duality. And all of a sudden, the consciousness and all that stuff, that we are all same, we are all conscious human being, and then obviously the appearance, the physical world that we see is also appearance in our own consciousness. All of a sudden, on the emotional dimension, that creates a little bit of distraction. Logically, I understand what it is, but emotionally, what the connection that you have with Thakur and Ma on the emotional levels plane, all of a sudden, when you get into the so-called the technicalities of the stuff, it creates a little bit of a disconnect kind of thing. So for us, I understand ultimately when the realization comes, you understand it all converges. But for us, who are far away from the convergence of those things, how do you reconcile in that kind of environment?
A very, very good question. This is not contradictory idea, because Ramakrishna said, Advaita Gyan Achole Vede Jaicha Kor. Our love for Thakur is in one level. When you know that who is Ramakrishna, by whose twinkling of an eye, billions and trillions of galaxies, some galaxy going into the black hole, it is created, recreated. That is Ramakrishna. That is only one part of Ramakrishna. That is the A part, AUM, that is the physical part. Add to the U part, the distances between the stars and galaxies. Plus add your own conceptual level of gods and goddesses up to the absolute realization. Plus dot, that is inexpressible. Do we think Ramakrishna in that way? My God, who am I talking? A simple guy sitting like that. Yes, I will be devoted to Ramakrishna much more if I know his glory. It is a simple thing. We can reconcile this way. I give a gross example. A boy loves a girl, or a girl loves a boy. And when that knows the glory of that other person, the boy, knowing of the glory of the girl, oh, she knows dancing, she is such and such, she can act, she has other talents, this. Then the love will increase, not decrease. When you know Ramakrishna, Swami Vivekananda's Ramakrishna is what? Gurvas Taraka Charvanam Tribhuvanam Utpatayamo Kingbo no Vijanandasi Ramakrishna Dasavayam. See, this is Ramakrishna, Vivekananda's Ramakrishna. It didn't have lessened the devotion to Ramakrishna, but his glory have added some flavor to loving more. He, that which is beyond name and form, that who is the absolute reality, has come down in human body to help me. Amar Devata, he's my God, my beloved. Huh? That's why tremendous devotion can be generated in us if we keep the background, this background of knowledge, that it is we are not talking about Ramakrishna, but yet the song is there. Keho bole tumi sadhaka pradhan, keho dai tuma devatar মান, আমি গৌরব সব ত্যাজিয়ে দিয়েছি হৃদয়ে আসন দান, আপনি করিলে আপনার পূজা. Swami Vivekananda, Swami Premishananda writing this. কেহ বলে তুমি সাধক প্রধান. I can worship Ramakrishna. He's a good guy, good Brahmin, priest, innocent man. My master, the Dr. Sarkar used to say, no? Huh? He's a good guy. Why are you spoiling, telling him in avatar and other things? You are spoiling him. He's a good person. So, see, some can think that way. And Kehuday Toma Devotar man. Someone thinks he's a saintly person, he's a godly person. And someone thinks he's Ishvara, the Lord of creation. But I do not want to understand. I have given my heart and soul at your feet. And so, see, devotion will be much improved. Suppose Arupa Shaya, the song you sing, and then start meditating on Ramakrishna. Who is Ramakrishna? অরূপ সায়রে লীলা লহরী উঠিল মৃদুল করুণা অরূপ সায়রে লীলা লহরী আদি অন্তহীন অখণ্ডে বিলীন মায়ায় ধরিলে মানব কায় অরূপ সায়রে. Think this way, Ramakrishna. Adi antaheen, Advaita Vedanta. There is no beginning, there is no end. Adi antaheen, akhande bilin. It's merging into the absolute oneness. There is no khanda, division. Mayai dhorile manavakai. I love that Ramakrishna, who is this infinite expanse. Your love will be really genuine and deep and profound. I think it is not contradictory in that way. That's why thinking of Ramakrishna, we can think very little of Ramakrishna. We don't have. Swami Vivekananda said, shall I create a monkey? No, he was Shiv korte baador korbo. Yes. He said, shall I create a monkey out creating Shiva Murti? He declined not to write about Ramakrishna. We see a little here and there statement coming out unconsciously, whatever he has said. So whose Ramakrishna is better, Ramakrishna? So it is not contradictory. Yes, basically we are all that. Look at the infinite ocean. We can think in this way. It's a very good concept. Suppose the Pacific Ocean. Think of the Pacific Ocean. Ramakrishna is Pacific Ocean. And in that above, a huge wave. Name any of these special waves, tsunami and other. And we are little bubbles in the infinite ocean. Just think, you are on one bubble, I am another bubble, we are all small bubbles. Ramakrishna is this. Are we not the water? The substratum behind me is the same ocean. And behind Ramakrishna. But Ramakrishna is a special manifestation. It is impossible that to have such a body. That's why Bhagavan Shankaracharya comments that way, no? What a miracle, no? Ajo Pishan Atma is birthless. Ajo Opi San Abhaya is no die or destruction of that. Ajo Pishan Atma. Bhutanuji Kriksha Akhanda by Saw Maya Bhutanuji Kriksha Dehovani Vojato Evo Kurvan Lakshat. He takes a human form out of Maya, the compassion for the whole humanity and good for others. So I think this is a very beautiful idea. Rather, our love for Ramakrishna will be much intensified. Without the background of Advaita, our Ramakrishna will be a Thakur, Pujari Thakur. Our Ramakrishna can be a good saint. Our Ramakrishna would be like a comparison we can put somewhere little more than a saint. But we don't understand it is God Himself. Raja Thakur said, ebar Rajar Chhaddaveshe Nagor Brahman. The king comes down in disguise to see the condition of the subjects. So this is called avatar. Thank you.
I had a question. I hope it's not out of turn. I wanted to ask about intergenerational interpretations. I hope it's okay to ask, and particularly with the panel on the stage. I'm so grateful that you're all here. I think one of the things that, and I've spoken on this, but I'm actually saying it kind of for the benefit of others too, is sometimes it's very hard. It's not, for those of you who know me, I'm born and brought up in America. And so totally American, and in many ways. And so sometimes it's a struggle for me both as a daughter and as a mother of the son, how to really access and feel like we're doing the right things in worship when I may not have the same, I don't want to say cultural incompetency, because see, Maharaj did it for this, when you mentioned my favorite song, Tomar Pujar Chale. I think sometimes we get so wrapped up in the rituals and the rules and what's right, what's wrong, and what we're wearing and everything else that it can become becomes inaccessible as each generation goes. I'm the daughter of immigrant parents, so they still had some of that cultural competency. I have even less. My son has almost none, and so, but that doesn't mean Thakur is for him too. This place, this philosophy is just as much for him as it is for my mother. Cultural competency should not be, or cultural differences. And today, I'm Swami, I'm left, but Swami Yogapananda made a point of saying it should be open and inclusive. This is open and inclusive. How can I communicate that to the next generations? Particularly, I will speak for myself, my own child, because I think this is the most open and accessible way to God. Especially, I think yesterday, when Swami Sarvapriyananda spoke about, look, you can't do it this way, then do it this way. You can't do it this way. The Gita lays it out. Even the minimal is a start. And so I would like, particularly because, please don't mind, I know Stuart Maharaj also did not grow up in India. At the same time, we have multiple generations in some ways on stage. I would love to hear your perspectives. That is my question is your perspectives on that.
He hasn't spoken
Yeah,
yet.
small thing to say.
Oh, yes,
In
yes.
fact, you're talking about cultural differences.
Both cultural and generational.
Yeah, I take the first part of it because I'm not very conversant with the generation part of it. The ideas of Sri Ramakrishna and Vivekananda are equally accessible to people of all parts of the world, all coming from all cultures. That has already been proved because all our big centers in America were first built up by Americans. So where principles are more important than personalities, it is openly accessible to everyone. And speaking about generations, probably that will depend on how we conduct ourselves, because people will learn from us. I mean, the younger generation. If we highlight differences more than, it all depends on how we live. Okay, one more question here.
It's not a question, but it's just related to that. Like, as you said, how we live. Like, for me, I accrue, like, everything was done in India. For us, from childhood, we were told, act up, you have a house, and the mott is another house. When my father passed away, my mother said that there was a senior person in the house. Now look into Thakur as the senior most person. That's how we always perceived Thakur Ma Shamiji for us. My question over here, my concern is my kids do see me every day bowing in front of Thakur Ma Shamiji wrote, like I do my japa every day. My concern is how do I get them? I wouldn't say they know who is Thakur, who is Ma, who is Shamiji, but how do they realize that they are a part of our life, and how do they get attracted to that? Meaning they are participating in the youth choir and everything, but when they move out of the house, they will have other influences also. But how to keep them grounded and also to keep them in that direction? Maybe I don't know whether I made my question clear enough or not.
I think that this is a big question for the generation gap, and I think that Indian parents are mostly not fit to teach them what they have to face. In the home front, the child learns all these things from mom, dad, shrine room, prayer, bhajan, etc., etc. But when the child goes outside, he has a bigger friendship and he learns from there. So I saw that there is a big uh, challenge here, and parents should not be like parents in India. And I say you follow, do this, do that. That will not work. But our ancient time the education was there. Laloet Panchavarshani, Dasavarshani Taroet. Prapte to Shodase Varse, Putra Mitrava Dasure. It is eternal values, but Chanakya. But this age may have changed. Laloet Panchavarshani. Yes, you love the child with almost affection and everything. Then up to 5 to 10, 15, now it may be 11, it may be 12. Now. Time has shortened. That time you are to Tara, they don't do that. This is not, but with reason. What we miss all the time. Do this. Why I shall do? Why shall I not do? So we have to give reason to them. And when they reach, they say teen, 13. So putra or konna mitravat acharit. You are no more mother. You are no more father. You have to come down to their level. And just like a friend talks to a friend, what has happened in your school, what your friend did, how their lifestyle, what they talk to you, how they're influencing. Then, as a friend, we have to give them the advice. No, you are facing this challenge. Had I been in your position, I should have taken this step. But you learn. I'm not dictating you. If you listen, that is my thought. You may not give them the freedom. And they'll do mistakes, but they will have love for mom and dad. But if you say all the time, don't do this, don't do this, they are waiting for college and then cut. They never come back. And I have many such personal experiences where the parents are miserably lost. But I did so much for my son, for my daughter. They don't keep any touch with me. Even phone call does not respond. So that is not the way. In this country to raise children, there are many books has come out. The first generation people how to raise their children and their relationship. So I think that this is very important, and we should give the values. Give the values, whatever our traditional. Actually, Swamiji wanted the best of East and best of West, no? So you give these values, teach them chanting, but don't seclude them in the separate way that they are all spiritual people all the time. Whenever he is going outside, their friends' impact is much more and very deep. And everyone, and not only that, they will bully this guy. And you are too good. I know of one, I should not take much time, but one family I know, they used to do every day evening prayer. All the children, mom, dad, Kondana Bhavo, and they will do all these things. And the boy raised in that context and he went to another state for his education. And then there, with the friends' pressure, they're influencing him to have some drink and this and that. And he is totally idealistic. And then there every day his life is a hell. So he does not know how to handle. Then he started drinking and it went on, went on. Then it happened that one summer, next summer he came back. He is fighting with his younger brother with a bottle of wine and then making such with a fighting with each other, and then parents were astounded. And then they brought that boy to me. I said, why are you doing that? Your mom and dad spending so much money and they're helping you and you are doing it. And he didn't say anything. Next time, he got more intoxicated and things. Next summer, he came, next session, and then with a knife, he charged his brother, and the blood in the basement, and the police has been called by his sister, and then police came and he said, I will kill you. And then they handcuffed him and took him to the jail. And all these things went on. And this arrest and order, these, that came. See, own son who is raised this way. And then I am telling this my personal experience. And at that point, after it went on, and after 1 month, 2 months passed, and the arrest and order is withdrawn and this and that, then the same parents brought me second time to me and asked, Swami, tell this son what he is doing. Then I asked him, why are you behaving like that? Could you please tell me? I told you last time also. He said, my mom and dad, they are my enemy. I said, why? I don't find any reason. They have not taught me about the outside world. I am forced. I was every day bullied like that. I said, I can do more than you do. I took a challenge. And I actually beat them in drinking, in having friendship, relationship, this, that. See? So that's why in this country, I cite this experience of mine to many. Because parents do not know what is going on in the mind of the child. And they use duplicate behavior, one in the inside, another outside. So they should be made very clear to make friendship with them, to understand their suffering, understand their problem, and to help them how they can combat the outside situation. And keeping these values. And if they do mistake, okay, let them learn from mistakes. I think this is my.
Yeah. So, that is so great. So Swamiji, my question is a little different. I'm talking about myself. I've really loved these 2 days. It's been great. But one thing that came out was that, meditation and the discipline of meditating and how, it's yesterday Sarojit spoke a little bit about it, how all the four Swamijis, right, whether Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, everybody brings out bhakti, meditation, jnana, and I forget maybe one more thing. But anyway, my question is meditation. When we lead such busy lives, sometimes it's not always possible, right, to spend half an hour or 1 hour meditating in the morning, half an hour, 1 hour meditating in the evening. But the way at least I have rationalized myself is, first I never used to meditate. I used to say, oh, it's very difficult to do because not difficult to do because my mind is wandering. But I think what I've now come to realize is that, at least I think I've realized, but that's why I like your thoughts on that is you can meditate in many ways. I feel you can, if you're driving between two places, turn off the music, listen to what you think is good for you. Like I listen to Bhaja Govindam or I listen to something else, which makes the same thing where my mind goes into a complete blank and peace. Would that also be meditation or, just some thoughts on what is really meditation?
These things are all very helpful and we should do all of these things, but they're not really a substitute for meditation. The meditation has a certain value that's the one, Swamiji makes a great statement, that's the one time we can feel that we are who we really are. The one time that we can forget we even have a physical body. So there's a special, even if the mind is wandering, after a half hour we can say, oh, I forgot where I was even. So at least we get some sense of ourselves as a spiritual being, even if the mind is wandering. So there's some special result that comes from meditation that I don't think can be replaced. The other things are absolutely helpful, and we should do that. But a little time for meditation, and there are very few people who can't get up a little bit earlier. Other people are still sleeping. Now, we know that it's not always possible in the evening, family and obligations and everything, but to sacrifice 20 minutes of sleep and get up a little bit earlier just for that meditation, we may be a little bit tired during the day, but almost everybody can do that. And the other thing is meditation that we do on our own and meditation we do after initiation are also a little bit different. That once we really receive this instructions and mantra and everything, that has a real power that will work at the time of meditation. That we can eliminate. The other type of meditation, it really, I think, is preparing us for the time when we're ready for initiation. I have great faith in initiation. I have great faith in the mantra that we receive. And the more we practice it and the more we can do it, really withdrawing the mind. We want to do it while we're driving also to remember everything, but to withdraw the mind and really forget this even physical body and just within that subtle body, just a play of the mind, dwelling on the divine reality or divine personalities. I think this is something that can't be replaced. So if you can find a little, 5-10 minutes even is better than nothing. Is my feeling.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think that what you said that while driving, listening to some bhajan music, these are good. But as Swami said, that you cannot replace meditation. While you are driving, your focus is in the driving. You should have to keep that. Don't meditate that time. So somebody said one day he was driving. He said, "Oh, I am feeling. I am going to." I said, "Sometimes you drive so fast and you are dozing. What is this?" I go to meditative mode. Well, don't drive. Driving and meditating. But the question is that we listen to some talks. It can give some intellectual uplift, emotional uplift. Music is a good thing. The mind becomes a little peaceful. That helps for future sitting in meditation. It may help us. So we should prepare our mind whole day for meditation also. This is one important thing. Why we don't cannot meditate in the morning or afternoon? Because we come with so many thoughts jumbled in the brain, and then when I sit for meditation, they come up. But if we can keep that thought, whatever is there, a part of the mind moving towards this peaceful state, then when you sit for meditation, it will be quicker. So we should help day's activity and thoughts in between thinking God and meditation will help. Meditation will bring the input in your action. So a good meditation in the morning, it will go, your mind will be more peaceful in your all action. It will continue that way. Okay, thank you.
Pranam Swamiji, I just wanted to add a couple of resources for folks that are looking to initiate or get their kids involved. I'm an outsider. My father immigrated back in 1952, so I'm completely an outsider here. Yes, born in a Brahmin family, but orphaned really young. What I found really helpful is the VedantaLifeAcademy.com that Swami Hari Ramananji has put together. You can take classes, the kids can take classes, it's all English based, usually on Zoom. Some are go at your own pace. And then I would also recommend, if you haven't heard or the kids haven't heard, for you to look up Swami Hari Ramananji's lecture on the Chandi. It's beautiful and it really draws you in.
Good idea. Even there is what is called the Vidyapit. The Vidyapit, they train the children in their way, but they face challenges outside and inside. But they know their ground is too strong. So to associate with them, to send your children to their place, that may be another way. But that means they have to give some concrete learning about Hindu philosophy, Hindu gods and goddesses, culture, what is that spiritual tradition. So some ideas should be entering into. We give them to chant some mantras and participate like that. But if some schooling is that with the is schooling, they do wonderful training for the future generation.
Pranam Swaraj. We were just talking about the kids, that is education and imparting good knowledge to them, good characters. First of all, I can't imagine, that is how the kids performed this morning. It's a great example, that is the amount of efforts that have been put in doing such a great performance and educating them. Doladi did, some time ago on Janmashtami, what is the importance of that? And today it is about Durga Puja, that is some time ago, it was a kind of devotion as well as some kind of fun. It's on holy, right? That is whenever there is an opportunity, that is we need to inculcate, that is what's the good thing and what's the bad thing, so that the kids learn about that. I think it needs to go on a continuous basis. That is we have such a wonderful, great center. We just started about a year ago. That is we have programs, that is on Saturdays, on Sundays, that is we have published prayers, we send notifications on every, that is note we are sending, that is to come and participate in the prayers, come and participate in the Karma Yoga. And recently we, a notification went out with respect to a community service project, a food drive, and also, reinstating the satsang, that is on the second week of Saturday. And that is all those things are initiated. That is now the thing is, I think we need to see. You expressed the story. That is the parents did not teach the kids. Just now, that is you told why such thing has happened. We all parents, that is have a big responsibility. That is in educating them. Now we have a center here. That is I think it's very difficult in the materialistic world, that is because so many things to take care of on Saturdays, Sundays. But at least whenever we can, that is the parents, that is can, sign up for Sundays, coming for the evening prayers, come up for satsang, participate in the food drive, identify what is the local community here, that is during Christmas time or during some functional events, let's do a food drive, that is, let the kids engaged in these activities, come physically coming to the center on a regular basis, that is, all these things, I think, in my view, would be very helpful, and we believe in this service. And me being a Ramakrishna Mission student, studying Ramakrishna Mission students from Chennai, and every single day evening between 6 p.m. to 6:45 p.m. we sing the Aradhana prayer. Then afterwards there is the meditation. And if it is a Sri Ramanavami day, that is, we celebrate Sri Ramanavami. And before taking lunch or food, we read 10 chants of Bhagavad Gita. So over a period of time, we memorize that, right? So these are all some of the, that is, the guiding principles that are available from our, that is, the founders, that is, from our gurus, from Sri Thakur, that is Swamiji and Ma, that is, I think we need to adopt on a day-to-day basis to follow that. Maybe your thoughts on that, that's it would be, the, request or, that is, you make that becoming more active, much more active. That may help the kids in a big way.
Any more question? Yes.
Why is
It's coming, the microphone.
Why is money so important? Like money can bring, very bad things to you, and you fight for it. And but in order to feed yourself, everybody has to have some money and earn their money. And why is it so that is so important? But this is money is something we fight for. Like people fight with each other, like brothers or mom and daughter, mom and everybody just fights for money. And why is it so important that we have money, and that makes us go? And we say that our body is nothing, but to support our body, everybody has to eat, and for eating you have to earn money. And why is it so important? I can't get through my mind that. But why is money so important?
I think it all goes back to our view of ourselves. I won't start talking about high Vedanta now. But if I think myself more as my body, as this body, then I'll do everything to keep it comfortable and happy. And there is no end to it. We don't know how much is enough. And when you live in the company of such people, you always have to match yourself. And that attracts you into this whirlpool.
But like to make something, like make a money and to make an organization, everything is money. So
But that's not the most important thing. We make it the most important.
oh, okay. Okay, so that's why I wonder, why is money so important? Like
Money is
Yeah,
in
but
order to feed yourself, in order to do everything.
But look at the great souls that have moved this world. Money was not important.
But still, even
But
though
still,
their
you are making excuses for yourself.
No.
Because you don't want to sacrifice.
Oh, the people that want to sacrifice, that's what you mean, right? Okay. But still,
That applies to us also.
It is
That
the
applies to
being,
us
no.
also.
we can.
Human being, human personalities, what has kept us here? Our desires, and desire is endless. As you are talking about basic desire, fulfillment of body. Say this ashram is there, its electric bill,
its gas bill, its taxes. Those are money is necessary. But money. That is the craving of individual soul comes into the organization also in some places. But most importantly, you have to think that it is the lust and greed is the weakness which has bound us here. If that is gone, Ramakrishna pointed out, lust and gold. So these are the two things which from the whole world. And those who are purer soul, they don't look at that side any important. But it is necessary for their survival, for their roof on their head, to have a car.
That's what I mean.
Maharaj, I have a comment to make actually. This is piggybacking off what Mona was asking. How do you basically get the next generation involved and follow our culture and carry on this stuff? I think it comes from both angles. From an organization point of view, from a center point of view, we need to always develop the so-called the next generation of people, because we have a very small run. We are going to be gone in 3 years. It's the next generation of people that will carry on the work of the VVCC. That's from the so-called the center perspective. From our perspective also, we want to also have our generation stuff to basically get involved and carry on the tradition, the spiritual tradition of this. To that end, for example, I think, again, it's this organizational question actually, the fact that, for example, what Gola is doing, the quiet part of it, right? Even though this is for entertainment purposes, for the spiritual satisfaction of the people who are attending, but it is also serving other purpose, which is basically getting the young people emotionally connected to this organization. And these are the people who will carry on the baton from us. So similarly, I think
that's a good idea.
Exactly. So my point, my suggestion is,
I think that is go on.
Exactly.
As to today's your thing, what you have given, these children are learning what is Navaratri, what is the Navadurga Murti, what is the form of the divine form. So these are, along with it is coming out. This type of program can be
exactly.
continued.
That's exactly my suggestion.
That's a realistic point. We'll have to see how many occasions and how many times it can be prepared, and that will be efforts should be there.
I think the point is not only choir, we have to look at other avenues to bring them in.
Main is more important now. We have to prepare a core group people more.
That is what you're asking.
Exactly.
We need more people in the
core group people, and there you have to be little open up. Something is blocking somewhere. So you people know that. Then you have to open up and go and hug.
Yeah, immortal. That's the other point actually. When we want to
I don't want to talk about that much.
Okay, one more question from here. One more question from. Okay. Okay.
Hi, Mr. Lahiri, and I spoke yesterday. Oh, yeah. Well, I had originally all about that same line. I've got 2 little boys who are 4 and 6. I know a lot of us have kids, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who would be super interested in the idea of bringing little kids here, maybe for some kind of schooling, maybe some yoga, stories, music. I'm not Indian, so I don't have that kind of cultural background, but I would so love to share some of this with my kids. And if anybody else is interested, has little kids and would like to bring them here maybe on Sundays in the morning or something, I can't do it all myself for the cultural reasons, but I would be delighted to help be involved in that effort. Yeah.
Very good, wonderful. We like this type of enthusiasm. I think
everybody is welcome to my youth choir group. It is not just Indian background or this background or that. Anybody. We only speak in English, and I try to explain to everyone everything. And if they want to learn other English songs or any song, I will be very open. So it is not just for people, for parents with English background. That's okay. I think you are.
Okay. So one more question.
One question. I have just a little thing to say.
Okay.
You know what, Moitri, the
Akhanda Purana. She did run youth in when Sarvagatanandaji Maharaj, and then he did it. And she had a lot of songs that mostly the children are born in this country, like a little song like Namaste, Namaste, I salute the divine in you. In India say what's so true, I salute the divine in you. That was their motto and the song, and they did a wonderful. So we can get in touch with her, and she was.
Yeah, I think
That is the thing, and we can open the committee where they can come. That is also their group. They like to contribute. Yeah. So I'll give the contact to you.
Okay, one more question from here.
Maharaj, I'd like to know what's the virtue of Diksha? I know, like, Shamiji, I have heard that he said that God knows joke, right? So, and we all are working here, sometimes overworking from morning to night, like, we have so many things to do, so much to accomplish, and stuff like that. So, but then, taking a Dikha, committing to your soul, to the path, committing to the fact that you will be doing japa every day, those kind of things. What what is the virtue of that? Like, if we know that, okay, I'm doing my work, that every daily work, I'm doing it sincerely, I'm trying to bring my kids up, I'm doing, all the chores and everything like that, and also doing my puja, also thinking about, like, realizing that, at the end of the day, I think all of us have some level of spirituality, right? So if I know that, what extra or what else that Diksha brings, that commitment brings?
Yeah, those who don't feel that desire for Diksha and who are doing exactly what you were doing shouldn't feel like they're second-class citizens or they're missing something. But when that desire comes to intensify and to really feel part of a tradition and to feel that we're doing everything possible to realize that goal, when that urge comes from within, then it's a very helpful thing. Sri Ramakrishna gives one illustration that I like very much. He says a picture that there's some buried treasure at the bottom of the ocean, and there's a chain there. And somebody says, well, I want to get that treasure. And they say, well, you can dive in wherever you like and see if you can find it. And then somebody else says, I know somebody who can give you the end of that chain. And you can go link by link by link. Once you have that in your hand, you know for certain that you'll get that treasure. You don't know how long it'll be. But you've been given that chain in your hand. And this is the faith that we have when we take this initiation, this mantra. It has the power, it goes directly back to Sri Ramakrishna, that we've been given that access. It may take a lifetime. We don't know how long it'll take. But with that faith, that is absolutely inevitable. There's no possibility that we're fooling ourselves. We need that type of faith. And to feel part of a tradition, it does make us feel that we really belong to that family. There was one beautiful letter from Parmeshananji wrote to Gautam Maharaj. He said, before we loved you very much, now we feel you are our very own, after he took that initiation. So it connects us in a stronger way. It connects us and it gives us something very tangible to hold on to. And if we conduct our spiritual life based on what we feel is best, then one day we wake up and we think, oh, maybe it wasn't good, I'll try something else. We jump from place to place. If we have that faith, what we've been given is really something for a lifetime. Then we don't question it. So this Shraddha comes, this Vishwas, this conviction comes, that this is something that we can cling to, we can hold on to. This is a real pillar for us in life. So a tremendous blessing that we should feel a tremendous. But many people ask this question that I always find so strange. They'll say, do we have to take initiation? And to me, it's like saying, do we have to take this bitter medicine to get well? It's not bitter medicine. It's the greatest blessing that we can have. I never know why people, I can understand they're not ready to make the commitment and they don't know enough about it, but to feel that it's something we're sacrificing, giving up. Some people feel that I want my freedom to do whatever I want. I don't want to be under the bondage of anybody else. But that bondage is freedom. Swami Swananji had this beautiful expression, bind yourself to a routine. When we take initiation, we have to commit to some type of routine. That type of bonding is a real freedom for us. We don't have to wake up every morning and question, should I do this, should I not do that? So a tremendous benefit comes from initiation. But we shouldn't force it. We shouldn't wait till we feel that we're ready. We shouldn't do it as a fad. We shouldn't do it in competition with other people. And if we conduct a good spiritual life, those who don't take initiation but lead a good spiritual life are better than those who simply take initiations to say, oh yes, I'm a disciple of so-and-so. And they don't do anything. That's also something not very helpful.
I think that, it is initiation is like that. You're getting a good GPS. And you can drive in your own way. In Hindi, there is a word in the sadhus. They're called appanti. Appanti means I don't follow anyone, and I have my own way of sadhana. That is a risky thing because you do not know, it is not verified. That path is not verified. But what you get in initiation is a tradition. Series of it is a line of saints and sages. Many saints have been produced following that spiritual tradition. So that is a tested and verified path. And that gives definitely some conviction, tradition, that yes, before me, many people have realized God. And I am in that line, so I will also go and get it. Otherwise, people will reach a destination, but without a GPS, asking people, making mistake, going right, going left, again coming back, again doing that. And when they go to GPS, we will direct you, go right, go left, and that is tested and reach the destination.
I just want to make one minute. Thank you, my dear sister, that is for raising that for coming forward. And in the center, we always believe there is a page called the Karma Yoga, and where, that is, it says that, that if you have a skill, you want to impart to others, please come forward. If you need for your kids something, that is, please come forward. What do you need? That is, so, let this be a connecting place, that is, we have programs, we can just schedule that, in that way, we can build the next generation kids, they can come forward. And also, like Doladi has exactly mentioned, just not music alone today. In the background, many of you would not have noticed the artwork that have been displayed by the kids that is related to the Durga Puja. So all these things, what it makes a difference on the mind, right? How much amount of time they spend. This all makes a difference. I think, in my view, that is, I'm a very simple, honest and humble person. That is, you are all very seniors and citizens here, and that is highly initiated. But the thing is, I think we need volunteers, not just teachers, the kids, that is, they want, let's find out, that is, maybe, it's an informal, selfless service, we are all working together, and we'll figure out a way, and we can just make it. And maybe, next year, we would like to have a play of the kids here, that is depicting, that is something in a big way, that is, let's do that in this great shrine, And thank you very much, Maharaj. In case if I have spoken more, please, my apologies.
Yeah, many of our centers have some type of Sunday school or some special programs, and anybody who's really interested, you've talked to some of the people here, and it's a new center, really, and it's still in the growing stages. All of these things are very, very wonderful ideas. And we need a few people like you who have some enthusiasm and are willing to take a little bit of responsibility. And there'll be many people here who are very happy to help. all of the devotees here understand the importance of the next generation. It's very, very important.
I think good idea, Sunday school may be one good idea. Music through that, teaching like that, as today's teaching, the children will remember in future also. Something will remain in them. Then let us start, these two things can be started immediately. That may be a good idea to someone to come forward as giving their time and some organized way of collecting children. That would be good.
This, just sitting here, it's not a very formal way to thank everybody, but this is the final part of the program. There are many, many people who worked very hard to prepare for this program. We're very grateful to all of the workers here. We're very grateful to Swamiji and the other speakers who have come, and to all of you who are joining in. The center will be successful if people participate. This is the most important thing. If people are not just even taking a leadership position, but come for programs and participate in whatever classes there are and special programs, pujas and everything, and who have that spirit to work for the center. In our Washington, D.C. center, I see that there are people that they've developed this love for working for the center. It's something just almost unbelievable. Saturday mornings, if you come, you'll see 20, 25 people, but with great joy, doing the vacuuming, cleaning the toilets, doing everything. And it develops a tremendous spirit and family feeling and love for the center. And really, everyone has to feel this is really your own place. And not coming to volunteer and help and, oh, I did this and I did that, and no, this person didn't do this, to feel the privilege. I honestly feel, that my really honest opinion, that many devotees will get far more spiritual benefit out of doing this type of service, selfless service, than they will out of long hours of meditation. What is our meditation? Mind is running all over the place. A little bit of selfless work and that spirit of dedication, tremendously beneficial for us as individuals, for the center, and for the whole movement. So this is my plea. And those who can't, they say if you can't, what is it? Mape and drop it. Yeah. So we help in a spiritual way. Otherwise, the center will need funds. The center needs funds to function. We talked about now everything is working nicely with regard to paying the regular expenses, but there's also a debt to pay, and there's also a new building to build. In order for this center to really be a fully functioning center, we have to have some place for visiting sadhus to stay. We have to have a dining hall. We have to have a kitchen. We have all plans already made to have an extension in the back, but everything takes money. So you're asking what's the value of money? This is a very good use of money. Yeah, to help for the future generations. It's I always remember a statement that Swami Ranganathananji Maharaj, one of the previous great speakers, president of the order, he was addressing a group of people starting a new center. And he said, don't think the center is for you. Don't think this center is for your children. Think the center is for your grandchildren. And that means to take that long view, build up something that will grow and will be beneficial for generations to come. So this is my hope and my plea. Not just me personally. I have no personal interest in this. I'm doing whatever I can to help Swamiji. He is the spiritual guide of this order, but that this will bring tremendous joy. The more we can sacrifice ourselves for something higher than ourselves, that it brings a tremendous joy and the feeling this is also worship. This is how to worship Thakur and Ma, Swamiji, to service to their work, to help their work. So this is my prayer to the grace of Thakur Swamiji, that the center will continue to grow and that everyone will get along with everyone else. First thing, if we can't love each other, we can't do anything. So don't stick your hands up. The people who are sticking their hands up have to be the ones who change also. Yeah, it's extremely important. If we can't even speak nicely to each other, then how can anything develop? We have to learn to work together, to love each other, because we love Thakur Swamiji. That should be that binding factor, and I'm sure it'll happen. Every center has growing pains. It always happens.
I think everyone is eager to do something. That's also there. But only something is blocking. So that blockage is to hug. Don't do anything, just eat, sleep together, smile together, and hug each other. That will solve the problem. And I think that it is in as Sami was talking about Washington, D.C. I think that should be the model. He only, every Saturday people come and he prepares cooked khichdi for them. And that day he will prepare himself for every person to eat. And they are doing their work and they come and everyone is doing every type of work. Bathroom, cleaning, window, this shrine. So every weekend they come and you can also make a khichdi. Simple khichdi. And just come and do whoever is what is available. And then
Kumar makes dosa in the morning.
And Kumar dosa. And you will do the dosa here.
We can drink it.
We can learn to make dosa here. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, now everyone, it's time for lunch. And again, thank you all.
Thank you.
You're a psychologist. You should talk to somebody. We should get some perspective from the psychologist. I think we need a psychologist. She's going away.
মহারাজ আমি একটু যাবো
and আমি বন্ধুদের ইনভাইট করছি
আমার রিহার্সাল আছে
সবাই একটা কিছু বলার কেউ বলছে না আপনি না না আমি বলুন আমি কারোর সাথে কথা বলবো
তুমি এতদিন করেছো এখন এই কাজটা কত সুন্দর হতে পারে
আমি না আমরা সবাই মিলে কথা বলছি যারা কাজ করতে চায় সবাই অসুবিধাটা আমাকে এসে বলছে I do not want to tell them to me একসাথে কথা বললাম we want to be present together otherwise it is not going to happen Please, give us this opportunity.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Let me write to me, and I'll connect you with everyone here.
So I can send the like a private session, I can and I'll do it. Shall I send it to you? Shall I send it?
She wants to send a check. Does she address it to the center?
You have already given us so much.
I told you the same thing.
Yes, and we are giving those artwork and devotees are giving money.
Yes, he wants to get.
In the front, there is a.
She forgot her check.
I have an email.
Yeah, so I will
VVCC.
so you will give me this.
So it gets up to this address. Yes. We have a.
You have the
Oh,
access
you
here.
have the, okay.
Oh, there is also PayPal link.
PayPal link.
PayPal,
Yeah, that
I
could be
don't have.
done.
Oh, I can do that direct transfer.
Okay.
I can do the direct transfer.
You send it here.
That I can do it even not from here. You just give me the account number.
Okay, after
Then I
four.
will, after 4, I mean, that's a very good.
Maharaj will see.
Oh, nice. Not one mistakable. I loved your so I loved
হ্যাঁ যাচ্ছি মনোজদা
কাটার উপায় নেই পুকুরি তো লাগে
anything. I'm looking at our nonprofit. It's an excellent. In the beginning, we get that.
No, you're not. First leading principle is do that. When you are in a conflict situation, do that. Come what may.